Alright, today is going to be a different kind of video. I'm going to be talking about my life, I guess, and the time that I legitly almost died. Not like I fell off a ladder and it scared the shit out of me. I almost died. It's an actual, in the hospital, doctor said almost would have died. Alright, some little bit of backstories. I've had multiple surgeries on my back and foot and leg. So, my nerves in my lower part of my body are, like, fucked up. And, one night I was just getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, man, I don't feel too good, but whatever. So, I'm laying down in bed, and I'm just like, my leg starts getting this twitch, and it's, like, a painful one, not like, what the... Hello? But yeah. Okay, that was weird. My thing just stopped working there. But I started getting a twitch in my leg, and it's like really, it's kind of hurting. I'm like, man, this is annoying. And then I am trying to sleep some more, not working out too well. And then it starts, like, really hurting, and, like, it looks like I'm having seizures, honestly, in, like, the lower part of my body. And it's, like, hours go by, and it's just getting worse and worse. I just start feeling like I'm super sick. And then, like, it wasn't, like, it was morning, but it was, like, really early, like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and my mom comes in to, like, wake us up for school. And because this was like a couple of years ago, and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I feel horrible. My legs are hurting like crazy. And she's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm twitching, like I'm having seizures and shit, and everything is just going downhill. So she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. And like, honestly, it was kind of scaring me. And we wait a little bit, and I'm like, oh geez. And this is all during like winter, like it's crazy out and everything, and there's like a couple feet of snow and everywhere, and we can't drive anywhere. Our car's stuck, and I'm like, I feel horrible, man, horrible. Like my legs are twitching. I can't even stand. I got a headache and a stomach ache. Just everything is going down for me. So we end up calling an ambulance, which is the first time, actually the second time, but the other time I was a little kid. But 2 ambulances show up, and I end up going in the one, and all I have on is shorts and a like t-shirt and sweatshirt. That's all I got on. I put my shoes and socks on, obviously. Actually, I was so bad that I had my sister had to put my shoes and socks on because I just couldn't bend over. And we are driving. It's a 40-minute drive to, well, they said it was going to be a 40-minute drive, but it ended up being like maybe a half-hour drive to the hospital. I went to Children's, and we get out. They give me a wheelchair because I can't even walk, I think. And we get out, go up into the emergency room, and we're just like waiting there forever. And I'm just sitting there tweaking out, like I'm twitching all over the place. It's extremely painful. Like it's nerves, I think it was. So well, it was like my tendons and nerves and everything were just like shot, and they were just freaking out. And I'm just sitting there. No one's coming in. No one's coming in at all. Like just like always in hospitals, when you need them the most, they're not there. And I finally one comes in. Like, oh, we're gonna start giving them some what you call it, IV to hydrate him. And they go to stick in the IV, and it's just what you call it. I'm so dehydrated that they can't even find a vein to like put it in, and it hurts so much because the guy puts it in like the vein, and it's not like getting... Oh, they were trying to take blood, actually. And then they were going to also use it for IV. But he puts it in and just starts like wiggling it around while it's in my arm. And it was just so painful. And just, oh my god. It was horrible. Almost as bad as the leg twitching. But then finally gets it in. They start giving me... They take some blood to do blood work. Because they don't know what's going on. They're like, these symptoms are weird. And then... we just sit there and wait for a long time, and then they're giving me, they notice that there's like some difference in like my white blood cell count, like they're really high, so that means it's like my immune system's trying to fight something off. And they start giving me just like a general antibiotic that kind of like covers like a good amount of I don't know, just things that hurt you. And they're giving me like a liter bag of water like every 40 minutes, which that makes you really want to pee. And I have to use a catheter. So if anybody knows what that is, it's a tube that goes in your urethra, which is in your penis, and you just pee through it. I mean, I don't use it that much because I can just kind of like tighten my stomach muscles and like force it out of my bladder, but that's a different story for a different time. And back to the death scenario. I'm still declining, and like they got me hooked up to, I think at this point I had 2 or 3 IVs in, and I'm hooked up to a heart rate monitor, and they finally are like, they're like, all right, this is bad. Like, we're gonna have to move you to like, what was it? I don't know what it was. It's not a room for, it's like, I feel like there's a room in between. Oh yeah, the ICU, intensive care unit. They sent me to that, and I'm tweaking out still, like even worse now. It's ridiculous. And they have me, it's the ICU is just like where, obviously it's an intensive care unit. It's where like babies go if like they're born and they're like having problems, or if you just have like a reason that they need to watch you. And they needed to watch me because my heart rate was like really, it wasn't like super crazy low, but it was like getting into like the dangerous low levels where they're like, he could have like a heart attack or something, or his heart might stop. So they're in there watching me, hooked up to all these things. I'm still tweaking out, and still giving me, they don't know what's going on still, but they're still giving me the general antibiotics. And if anybody's ever gotten antibiotics, they know it messes with your digestion and it makes you shit. And here I am, I'm just like, I'm fucking tweaking out, crazy headache. I actually vomited a couple times, and I need to take a shit. And there's no way in hell I'm getting up and walking to a bathroom somewhere, so they have to bring me like a little toilet that they just bring into the room and you can sit on. But it's like diarrhea, and it's like gross, and like it always feels like there's more than there is. So like I'm trying to force it just so I can like take a big shit and then finally like not have to I'm trying to find the thing so I can tell this guy to shut up. Oh well. But taking a shit finally gets over with. I end up using that thing like 10 times in a day because I just have to keep taking a shit. But then they come back in and they're like, we have no idea what's going on. We can't figure it out. And you're kind of like gonna have to stay here for a while until we figure this shit out, because his heart rate's low. He's got this weird spastic seizuring like symptoms, which I wasn't having full-blown seizures. It was mostly just my legs just twitching really, really bad. And it was super, super annoying. But what can you do? And I finally, they give me morphine. They're like, all right, we're gonna give you morphine because we don't know what's going on here. So they give me morphine for my legs and just everything else, and it does like nothing. It makes like no dent at all in my like pain levels. So they give me like 2 or 3 things of it, and it's just doing nothing for me. It's doing absolutely nothing. So they give me, it's called Dilaudid, which I never heard of before, and I don't know how crazy it is on the scale of drugs, painkillers, but what it was like was they gave it to me in like a little, like tiny bit, like 20-30 milliliters of it. Like it was tiny amount, and then you get like warm. You get really warm in where they're putting it in, and then you taste salt, and then you just pass out. You just fall asleep, and then you wake up like a couple hours later. It was the weirdest thing ever. And I wake up, and I'm like, oh, well, where the hell am I? And I'm like, oh, I feel kind of better. And then I think it was one of those ones where, like, when you wake up, it just kind of doesn't work anymore. Because I wake up, and like 10, 20 minutes later, I just start feeling worse. I'm like, oh, geez, start twitching again, and it's like, it's a pain. It's like, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like, if you've ever been like, I don't know, I've never broken a bone, so I don't know how that feels. But like, I guess the worst pain imaginable, because that's what it was to me. That's what it was. So it's like the worst pain imaginable. Every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds. So it's like crazy. And it's just like, why? Why does this happen to me? Well, I'm gonna pick this up on, like, I don't know, Almost Died Part 2, I guess.